This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 3, and it reads, "The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked." Verse 4, "He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich." Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Makah, Kodash, Brakatham. Double honor shall go to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone, to continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims, a great millstone, and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. And also shalom to the sincere Aquads, who are continuously learning in silence as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right, so this lesson for today is going to be entitled The Slackers. All right, because I just mentioned in Proverbs 10 and 4, when it comes to the slack hand. So what is a slacker? Simply put, a slacker is an individual who evades work or duty, aka a straight up lazy bum. All right. And you have more and more individuals that's becoming a slacker, because I'm seeing so many videos, and mainly the sisters, the Aquats, the Eves, all right, because they've been depending on Esau Edom to pay their bills for so long, but now he's cutting them off, and now they're getting on the internet, on YouTube, social media like crazy, boo-hoo-hooing and cursing people out, because they don't want to try to get their lazy asses up and try to go and find a job. At least try, okay? So when we go to the book of Proverbs 13 and 1, and it reads, "A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke." Verse 2, "A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence." Verse 3, "He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that opened wide his lips shall have destruction." Verse 4, "The soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat." Okay, so another example or illustration, just being lazy. All right, because let's put this in perspective. All right, because if Yahweh could work 6 days and rest on the seventh day, and if his son, if his son, Yahushai Mashiach, can put in the works when he was on the earth, well, who are we not to do the same? Okay? We got to put in the works. All right? He helps those who want to help themselves. All right? So when we go to the book of 2 Thessalonians 3 and 7, this is a clear cut to you crazy bums, crazy and lazy bums, okay? And it reads, "For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we behave it not ourselves disorderly among you." Verse 8, "Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to you or Salakia to any of you." All right. Verse 9, "Not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us." All right. In verse 10, and here's the point. "For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither shall he eat. Woo! All right. And I just mentioned about, mainly the woman that's bitching and moaning because now they can't get their government assistance anymore. And they don't want to try to get up to look for a job. They're coming up with all these excuses. All right. And it's pathetic. It really is. So going on to Proverbs 19:13, it reads, a foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. Verse 14, house and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. Verse 15, here's a point. Slothfulness cast it into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. There you go. All right. Another point that I just made. All right. If you don't eat, Salaki, if you don't work, then you shouldn't eat. Point blank. All right. And so people will say, oh, well, that's cruel. That's so inhumane. Please. That's not what the Father says. All right. So stop the nonsense. All right. So Proverbs 20:3, and it reads, it is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. Verse 4, the sluggard, there go that word again, will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing. Woo! My goodness. That's it. I could end this lesson right here, but I'm going to continue just a little more. All right. So Genesis 3:17. And this is about Adam and Eve, committing that transgression in the garden. And so this is what happened. And it reads, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Verse 18, thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Verse 19, in the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it waste or Salakia was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Wow. All right, because simply put, because of the transgressions of Eve, first and foremost, Eve, the woman, okay? So now we're being cursed to this very day. We have to work like dogs, putting in 50, 60-hour weeks, sometimes 80-hour weeks, just to get by. All right? But this is a curse from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right? Because of first and foremost Eve, then Adam. So speaking of curses, we're going to go to Baruch chapter 3, verse 8, and it reads, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our Yahweh. Wow. So there you go. So for you slackers out there, like I just mentioned, this is a curse. And I want to cue up a video real quick before I do so, I would like to recite the disclaimer, as always, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act law. This video is solely for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off of this video, you heard? So this video is the title, Why Everything You Buy is So Much Worse Now. All right, because that's what's going on. Because of slackers. They don't care anymore. Their, morals are low right now at an all-time low. And it's affecting manufacturing and commerce, things of the like. Because people are not putting their all in all into their work anymore. All right, so Salakia.
Radios presents Why Everything You Buy is So Much Worse Than Before. Have you noticed that nearly everything you buy these days is crap? Clothes and shoes wear out after a few months. Brand new appliances break down much faster. Food doesn't taste like it used to. And even basic household products somehow feel weaker. Guess what? This is not by accident. What we're living through is the steady, deliberate crapification of everything. It's a system designed to keep you buying. And once you see how it works, you'll never view your purchases the same way again. Let me break it down. The decline of quality control. Once upon a time, companies cared about their reputation. If a toaster caught on fire or a pair of shoes fell apart, the word spread fast and brands paid the price. That meant stricter quality checks and products built to withstand the test of time. Now, speed and volume matter more than reliability. Factories churn out products by the millions with barely any testing. And it shows. Buttons pop off and seams unravel after a few washes. Brand new sneakers split or lose their soles by the end of the season. And gadgets break before you even figure out how to use them. Instead of catching defects before products hit the shelves, companies bet on something else that most customers won't bother with the hassle of returning them. This means failure is built into the system. The global race to the bottom. Poor quality control is not the whole story. There's also a deliberate downgrade in what things are made from. You see, companies outsource production to the cheapest factories, and each one cuts corners to win the contract. From
That's
synthetic
right.
fabrics to particle board.
So there you go. Quality control, or QC, is at an all-time low. All right? And it's because of greed and profits. These companies are placing profits over people's personal safety. All right? But again, when you're living in Esau's wicked world, these are the results. Y'all heard? So this is going to conclude this lesson for today. All praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makakudash, Brakatam, Kwam, Yasharala, Rise Israel. And as always, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom.